AMA questions. Didn't get many, but I did get some, so let's go over them. Greetings, you lovely people. It's been a while, isn't it? Yeah, so sorry about that. My job means that this whole crazy COVID thing that goes on, my workload has massively increased because I look after some safety bits and bobs for the business that I work for. But that's cool. But it has meant I've had a lot of time to be doing videos, and there's been other bits and bobs going on, so they've taken up some time. But anyway, here we are. I thought I'd do you a quick update video. Just doing some few bits and bobs jobs today. Let's just have a look here. Once again, we find ourselves, or no, you don't find yourself, I find myself, recharging the battery on the MR2. Yeah, so the thing with my MR2 is it doesn't get used an awful lot. I would like to use it a lot more, and certainly this year with lockdown and not being able to, there's been periods of time in the UK where we haven't actually even been able to drive anywhere, sort of essential journeys only. That means that going out for an Italian tune-up in the MR2 isn't really practical, or even allowed in some cases, so I haven't been able to do that. But nevertheless, things like the ECU and stuff like that just have a constant little drain in the alarm system, which has a backup battery which is charged off of that bad boy. It gets, depletes the battery over time because it doesn't move anywhere to recharge it off the alternator. So I think that got down, well, I wouldn't start the car, so I've charged that up. Also need to change the wiper blades on the Jeep, so got to get that done. And I may, if I've got enough time, have a look at fitting the microphone to the Android head unit that I fitted into the Jeep, because when I call people I think I sound like I'm sitting in the car behind. It's too far away. They did supply a mic with it, but I just didn't put it in at the time, so I need to get that done. So let's get out to the MR2. We'll put this in. I had a few questions on the AMA Ask Me Anything, so I'm going to cover those off as well. And yeah, let's stop warbling, get on with it. Let's go. So, yeah, this is the thing when you're trying to do a video on your own. There we go. Let's lock the door so the cat doesn't get in there and wreak havoc. So, AMA questions. Didn't get many, but I did get some, so let's go over them. Let's just navigate through here so I don't trip over and throw the battery onto the floor. Right. Actually, before we get going, I'm just going to get this bonnet lid open and then we'll start. Bear with me a second. Bonnet. Boot. It's not even a boot, is it? Engine lid. Let's call it the engine lid. Okay, there we go. Battery goes here. Now when people talk about, I'll just talk about this here for a second. When people talk about putting the air filter behind the battery, they're talking about this void here. The battery goes up to this point here. They're talking about this void here. Here we go then. It's back in here. Let's get all these cables out of the way. Now this battery isn't the stock battery. It's slightly bigger, and I've modded the battery tray to take it. The reason being was the little battery, the stock battery on here, used to go flat even more than this one does. So I put a bigger one in there. That works out okay. So, whilst I bang around doing this, let's answer some questions. So the first question is from my good Canadian friend, or interwebs friend should I say, because I've never actually met him. Bruce. Hello Bruce, I hope you're well. Enjoy watching your videos. If you haven't seen Bruce's channel, Bruce L, check it out. He does some pretty cool and interesting stuff as well. Goes for crazy rides around the neighbourhood on things, these projects. Anyway, we digress. First question is if Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster got into a fight, who would win? Now I need to be careful with this answer, and I'll tell you why. It's because my mum is actually Scottish. Yes, my mum's side of the family is Scottish, so I guess that makes me half Scottish. I don't wish to be disowned by my family, so it would be automatic just to say Loch Ness Monster. However, there is proof to support this claim, and if you YouTube Celebrity Deathmatch Loch Ness Monster, you will see the outcome of that fight. You heard it here. Okay. Next question. If you had to restore a rusted classic, which would you choose? So I thought about this one quite a bit. Because to be honest, there's a lot of what would be classed as classic British cars which were frankly a bit crap. Let's just say that the motor industry of old in the UK perhaps didn't cover itself with glory too much. When I was a kid, I really liked the Triumph TR7. It was just the shape of it, I really liked it. But once again, not the greatest car in the world perhaps. So I think in reality, the car I would, classic that I would restore would be a Mark I Cortina, and here's why. My dad used to own a Mark I Cortina, and that car had a hard life. Not through him driving it and using it to its full potential, but generally due to the abuse, kicking and swearing it received from my father, because it on many occasions failed to work. So I think what I would probably like to do is buy one of those, restore it, probably put maybe a, I don't know, see what do? Do you put a more reliable engine in it that hasn't got a carburetor that sucks crap into it all the time, or do you keep it faithful? Don't know. But I think that would be a nice idea, and then give it to my dad. And then of course when it goes wrong, he'll give it straight back to me probably to fix, and then I'll give it back to him and so forth. But at least it would mean that he doesn't have to kick it. Yeah, there were quite a few camping holidays I remember where that car got sworn at a lot. I love you, Dad. Okay, right, alarm might go off, we'll see what happens. No, good, right. There we go. Okay, next question, and then I really do need to get this battery on. Comes from Mr_G23. Do you still have the OEM seats in the MR2? If so, are you planning to change them? Yeah, I do have OEM seats in the car. They're not actually the ones that should have come with it. So I've probably said on many occasions before, when I bought this car, it was in a pretty sorry state, like me at the time. And it had been raided, absolutely raided for parts for another MR2 that the person who had this car owned, which I never really understood, because this was a 2005 car and he'd raided the parts off of this for a pre-facelift 2000 car, I think it was. Didn't make any sense to me, but anyway. So the seats that should have been in it were the red cloth facelift seats, and the ones that were in it when I bought it were the black pre-facelift seats, which I didn't like very much, and I like red, so as you may have noticed by the red touches in the thing and the red strut brace here, which I think I've shown you before from Japan. So yeah, so I managed to get hold of a decent pre-facelift red interior. Yes, I do want to change them. Problem is I would like racing seats, and I'd like to get harnesses in there for track days and stuff. However, I've got pretty wide hips, and bucket seats don't always agree with me very much. My son's got a Integra DC5, and everyone who sits in that car goes, "Oh, these seats are so comfortable. I absolutely love these seats." And I get it and I go, "Ah, my hips." So yeah, I'm looking at the Sparco R100s. I quite like them, and yes, they are going to get changed, but I don't really know what ones. I know a lot of people put S2000 seats in, but I think they're heavy And what's interesting is when you speak to S2000 owners, they actually say, yeah, they're not that comfortable. I don't want to put more weight into the car. I'm not really overly concerned with that, but I don't want to put more weight into it if I can help it. I like the design of the R100 Sparco R100s. So if you're watching this and you've put aftermarket seats into your MO2, leave me a message, leave me a comment if you don't mind, and tell me what seats you've put in, and yeah, how do you find them? You know, if you're a bigger, you know, I'm quite a tall chap, 6'1", so I've got to think about the height of the seat off the floor as well compared to the roof, be it the soft top or the hard top. So yeah, so leave me a comment, that'd be really helpful. So let's just put the amplifier. So let's just put the amplifier cable back on, and now I don't know what I've done with the bolt that holds that on. Perhaps if I paid attention to what I was doing rather than chatting to you lovely people, I wouldn't lose this stuff, huh? Right. I shall return. Found it. It's on top of the battery right there. Look. So, what else has been happening with this car? So, some of you may have seen the steering wheel build that I've been doing with the button plate. That's gone quite well. Once I've got a bit of spare time, if anyone's interested, what I plan to do is actually do a PDF of the pattern of that, the shape of that. So if you want to replicate that, you just can do, because I had real trouble trying to find something like that which would make my life easier. Took a fair amount of measuring and stuff, but that means it'll be universal across OMP, Sparco, Momo, all those sort of 70mm pitch diameter hole patterns. So if anyone's interested in that, leave me a comment, and I'll try and get that sorted out as soon as I can for you. Right, so I think we're getting there. It's got its MOT coming up in, I think it's about 6-7 weeks. I'm not overly concerned with that. Everything that needs doing on this car gets done. It's a labour of love, really. It's not my daily. My daily, as you can see just out the back there, is the Jeep. I've done a few things on that as well lately, showing that a bit of love. Some mechanical things, changed all the brakes, and which you may have seen the handbrake video for that. And also tinted the windows, put some wind deflectors on, just to make it a bit different. Put my stamp on it, as it were. If you're changing the battery in this car, something to consider is, if you're not going to use a spanner on this, you're going to need a deep socket, because a shallow 10mm, they're all 10mm on this, the 10mm socket is not going to reach over that thread and enable you to get the ratchet on the back of it. So just bear that in mind. Probably also need to remember not to brute it on as well, hey? That's that battery back on. Good job. Right, better just check it starts, I guess, haven't we? Okay, let's have a look. Oh, so much easier getting in this car without a steering wheel. Right, well, that'll be a good indicator first off. Well, we've got some. Now we're looking for power. Not sure you can see that too well. 12.5. So here we go. Good times. We're alive. This car hasn't moved for a little while. So yeah, I'm pleased about that. I'll try and get it out this weekend and have a little run. Talking of awesome little cars, look at that beast. Yeah, get me one of them one day. Right, so another Ask Me Anything question. Excuse me, got the sniffs because it's cold. It's about 3 degrees, which I know for a lot of you watching these videos, it's nowhere near cold. But it's cold for me because I'm a cold morsel and my hands are freezing. But anyway, excuse me for the sniffs. So, next AMA question, why the MR2? So, when I was a kid, the first MR2 was issued, and that looked like nothing. It was dubbed the poor man's Ferrari at the time, and it just captured my imagination, that car. I think I was about 12. So, being a kid, no driving license, certainly no money to be buying cars like that. Life moves on, and before you know it, I get to 5 years ago, significantly ill, very ill, and thinking about all the things that I might like to have done, and the MR2 pops back into my mind. So I think, well, I'm going to buy it. Yeah, I'm just going to buy one. And then I had a look at how much the Mark 1 MR2 was going for, and then I thought, maybe I won't buy one of them because they were horrifically expensive for anything near a reasonable one, or it was such a restoration project would probably be a better term, because some of them were in a pretty poor shape. So to be perfectly honest, the Mark 3 had completely passed me by. So I had a look into that. And just on a whim, as a project to distract my mind at the time, bought this car. Didn't even see it. My son and his girlfriend, hello Tom and Kat if you're watching, my son and his girlfriend went to go and pick it up for me, because at the time I couldn't even sort of walk properly and stuff, and it was torture. When they brought it back, it was torture having it on the drive, and I couldn't even drive it, couldn't physically drive. So. But and out of that time in my life, and this car as a basis for content, this channel was born, I guess. That might be something I'll talk about a little bit more in a future video if anyone's interested. I don't know, we'll see. So let's I'll probably wrap this video up now. I've got a lot of stuff to come still, and my apologies to all you fabulous subscribers who some of you have contacted me actually. Hi Mick, if you're watching, thank you for your message. I've had some people contact me and say, are you okay with everything that's going on in the world, because we've not seen anything of you online lately. Yeah, I'm fine, I'm just really busy with work and other things that are going on, and but I will be getting some content on out soon. So I hope you're having a great day, great weekend, and thanks for your continued support, and I'll see you on the next video. Just thinking, I haven't done half the things I said I was going to at the beginning, did I? But I've kind of waffled on for a bit now, so perhaps I'll do separate videos about that. And frankly, no one wants to watch a windscreen wiper being changed. It's the most boring thing in the world. But you might want to see how this microphone fits into this stereo. So anyway, have a great day, you people, and bye for now.